So the other day I put a post up on my community page asking you guys for any questions you'd like to ask me. So if you want to be a part of one of these videos in the future, make sure you watch out for those. Anyways, let's get started. First question is from GR John, and he says, why is there so much negativity about MCC? Basically, he then goes on to say that you have to keep in mind that the Halo coming to PC is huge for a variety of reasons that he believes in. All the games were developed for console many years ago, game developers have been working from home for a while now because of everything going on, and the time to get each game out has been limited, so that has led to good, just not perfect results. So what I would kind of say to this is the reason there's been so much negativity about the MCC is just the false promises that we were given. 343 came out and said that these games coming to PC were going to be a proper PC release and we're going to get them when they're ready. And really they've been anything but that. Granted, even on the Xbox these games have never been perfect, but on the PC it seems like we're getting even more of a subpar experience than the Xbox users. I understand that obviously it's going to be harder to do this if everyone's working from home and with that limited time frame, but if we're being real, the limited time frame is something that they brought upon themselves. Who knows when the MCC PC port actually started in development? It was probably well before they announced it to the public, so if they needed more time, they should have started working on it a long time ago. People have been asking for Halo to come back to PC ever since Halo 2 Vista came out and we never got Halo 3, so it's not like it came out of nowhere that there was a huge ask for PC Halo. So when we say that they're running out of time, it's true because Halo Infinite's coming out, but they pushed themselves up against this wall, so it's not something that I give them a ton of leeway for. Like you said, the games aren't terrible by any means, but they're so far from perfect that it just has let fans down. On top of that, it's just 343 tends to let a lot of people down repeatedly, and that's kind of been a build-up, and over time you get more and more disappointed, and that's why I think MCC has had so much negativity. Alright, next up is a question from Nathan Martinez, and he asks, what Halo maps do you want to see remade in Halo Infinite? It can't be a map that's been remade before, and Forge doesn't count. So right off the bat, I would say Guardian. Guardian is my favorite map of all time in Halo, and I would love to see it remade in Halo Infinite. It was that perfect mix of like a fun map mixed with a competitive map, and it was asymmetrical, which always made it feel different depending on what side you were on. If I had to pick another map that hasn't been remade, kind of dug a little deeper for this one, and I was actually thinking Standoff might be pretty fun. So Standoff was a DLC map back for Halo 3 that was mostly meant for big team battle, but you did play 4v4 on it, although that wasn't the greatest. For me, that map was always a lot of fun because you kind of held up in your base and you kind of had to make plays to get across the map, and the middle of the map was kind of like a dead zone, but there was rewards in the middle with rockets, and there was like invis up at the top. So for me, that was a really fun map, and I think that could be fun to see that back in Halo Infinite. Next up is a question from, I'm gonna butcher your name here. Actually, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it, so I'll just put it up on the screen. Anyways, he asks, which utility weapon from past Halo games is the best in your opinion? So I'm actually gonna take this question in two different ways. The first, I'm going to give you what I think is like the strongest utility weapon, and that is either easily going to be the Halo CE pistol or the Halo 2 BR. I would give the edge to the Halo 2 BR just because all the button combos and the fact that it's basically the superior option, long range, close range, and mid range. Close range, you can BXR people instantly killing them. Long range, if you're good, you can double or quad shot someone, taking them out pretty quickly. And mid range, I mean, obviously it works well mid range because that's what it was intended for. So I would say the Halo 2 BR gets the edge on the strongest utility weapon. Now, if I had to give you the utility weapon that I would say is like the best in terms of balance, I would actually say the Halo 5 pistol. Now, the reason I think the Halo 5 pistol is the best in terms of balance is because the Halo 5 pistol actually required a lot of skill due to the fact that it was kind of hard to land that 5-shot kill on someone. However, there was a give and take because while you could pick up the BR or the DMR and have a more accurate and easier to use gun in Halo 5, mostly talking about the pre-nerf BR, the pistol had a faster TT kill if you could land all those shots. So it was like this cool give and take that gave it a good balance, but the BR and the DMR definitely had their spots, and you always saw pro players using the different guns in different positions. Next up, xferan1 asks, dream YouTube personality to collab with, Halo and non-Halo, and what would you talk about? I would say in terms of non-Halo YouTubers, I think it'd be really cool to work with like Remakes or someone like Joseph Anderson to do some sort of long form video on really any shooter that I'm into at the time. They both make fantastic videos and I'd really love to get their thoughts on whatever game I wanted to talk about at the time. In terms of a Halo YouTuber that I'd like to collab with, for that one, I'd maybe go with BBK Dragoon. He used to do these videos occasionally where he'd have on content creators and you'd just talk about a topic for like 10 to 20 minutes, and I always thought it'd be really cool to be on one of those. So those are the guys that I would pick there. Bill asks, what is your favorite memory with Halo? I'd say my favorite memory with Halo was probably picking up Halo 3 back in the day when I was still a kid, sorta. I was in high school. But picking up Halo 3, I wasn't a huge Halo fan at the time. I was just kind of getting it because everyone else was, and I was just blown away. The first night, I played through the Legendary campaign with one of my friends, and then from there we hopped into multiplayer, and I was just hooked. So I would say that is definitely probably like my favorite memory with Halo, even though it isn't like one specific moment. I did go to one of my school's like Halo 3 LANs back in the day, and that was pretty fun, so I guess you could throw that in there too. Alright, next up, OK asks, have you tried any of the campaign mods for Halo Reach or 2 on MCC? And if so, are there any that you'd like, or any new mods that you'd like to see in the future? So I'm going to be honest with you, I've been lazy and I haven't downloaded any of the mods for Halo Reach or Halo 2 on MCC, so I'm just going to cheat here and say like some mods that I like in general. I recently, it was like a couple months ago now, played through Cursed Halo, and I thought that was super fun, so I'm going to cheat and give you that answer as the campaign mod that I've liked the most. As for any new mods I'd like to see in the future, I'd love to see people kind of mess with the balance of some of the old multiplayer titles to see what they could do. Whether it be CE, Reach, 2, 3, basically any of them, they would just take the sandbox and kind of mess with the balance a bit, maybe add in new weapons or take out weapons, kind of change the features of the different weapons and kind of see what they could do. I think that'd be really cool, and maybe someone could come up with the Project M of Halo, which if you don't know is like a rebalanced version of Melee in, I think, Brawl and Smash. I'm not a huge Smash person, but I think something like that would be pretty cool. Super BKDK asks, what's one game you wish you were more into? I wouldn't say I necessarily have one specific game I wish I was more into. It's more of a genre. And that's that I just wish I was more into like the really immersive, long RPGs. While I like dabbled here and there and I did like the Mass Effect series, it's never been a genre that I've really been able to get into and sink a ton of time into. But every time I watch a long form video or like a critique of one of those RPGs, whether it's Dragon Age, Skyrim, any of the Fallouts, The Witcher, anytime I watch some of those videos on YouTube, I always think the games seem like so much fun, but then I just never get around to playing it myself. So that's kind of what I would say. It's not necessarily one game I wish I was more into, but just more of that genre. Next up, cpost533 asks, Halo 2 or Halo 3? This one's a pretty easy answer for me. It's obviously Halo 3. Halo 3 was really when I entered the Halo scene, so not only do I think it's a better game, it's also the game that I got into Halo with, so it has all that nostalgia attached to it. I always say that even if you're a person that thinks Halo 2 has better gameplay than Halo 3, and I personally don't really, it's basically impossible to deny that Halo 3 was a more complete package. You had the super cool campaign, you had theater mode, you had Forge, you had all the custom games, you had all the different matchmaking playlists. Halo 3 was such a complete package, it's hard to pick any other game. And last but not least, Flix says, am I going to be in a YouTube video? If so, hi guys. Well, hello Flix. So that is going to do it for all the questions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I don't know how often I'll do videos like this. It was just something I kind of wanted to try out, and we'll kind of see if you guys like it. Like always, if you enjoyed the video, you know what to do. If for some reason you want to watch me play games live, you can catch me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Arrrash with 3 R's, or if you want to read my random thoughts, you can follow me on Twitter at Arrrash with 4 R's. Also, I usually don't plug the Discord, but if you want to catch things like custom game nights that we have roughly every other week on Thursday nights, you can join the Discord and you'll get the notification when we're going to have those. So, with that said, I'll see you guys next time.